This week I learned something incredible. It started with an experiment on this little Tulsi plant right here, but what it taught me about life and about myself is something I never expected. Let me share this story with you guys. So about a week ago, my Tulsi plant right here wasn't looking that great. I looked at it and an experiment. I don't know where I read it. There was an experiment done on plants. There were three control group of plants, A, B, and C were taken, and they were subjected to three different environment types. Plant A was subjected to positive talk, where a person would every day, would give water as well as, talk positively to it. Meaning, let's say, oh, you're lush green, you are growing so fast, you're gonna be such an amazing plant, and you're gonna look beautiful and all that. Plant B was talking negatively, and things like, "Oh, you are gonna be such a ugly plant, and you are not growing that fast, and you're never gonna be a beautiful plant, and your leaves are gonna be upside down or whatever." And Plant C was a control group of plant where it was subjected to nothing. Basically, it was left on its own, where they would water it, and that's about it. And the result of the experiment was shocking, at least to me. The result was that the plant A, which was subjected to positive talks, actually grew the fastest compared to plant B and C. And plant B, which was talking negatively and was said things like you have leaves which are upside down or whatever, and you're gonna be just ugly. Surprisingly, the leaves were actually quite upside down, or just looking not like a normal tree. So when I looked at my Tulsi plant right here, I thought of the same experiment, and I was like, you know what? Let me just experiment that and see if it actually works. About a week ago, I started saying positive things to this Tulsi plant, like you're lush green, you're growing faster than you have ever been, and you're just positive reinforcer in our lives, and you're just a beautiful plant and whatnot. And I would do that in the morning as well as in the evening when I do my prayers, and I'll look at it and intentionally say those things, looking directly at the Tulsi plant. To my surprise, I looked at it, yesterday. I actually don't have the pictures, but I should have actually, taken before and after pictures, I guess. But to my surprise, the Tulsi plant actually have more leaves than before. I didn't see much in the, it looking beautiful or whatnot, but it definitely has more leaves, and it's definitely more green than before. This experiment hit me hard, to be honest. It made me realize, as well as ponder, if my words has that much impact on a plant, imagine the impact it has on others. Imagine the impact it has on myself. That's when I realized I have been way too harsh on myself. As someone who really wants to get everything right, and I'm borderline perfectionist or whatever you want to call it. I always spend a lot of time making things right or perfect or whatever. And I wondered, or I thought, imagine the amount of criticism, as well as comparison or whatever I'm doing with others, or criticism I'm giving myself, without knowing that the inner dialogue is actually quite important. And but I realize that the inner dialogue is quite critical. If I can uplift a plant with my positive words, why not me? Did you know that average person has 6 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and most of them are negative? So imagine how we're supposed to grow if most of our thoughts are negative. That's when I made a commitment to myself. The words spoken or internal has to be positive, uplifting, and supportive to my goal of $211 million, as you guys know, where I share my updates as well as the lessons I have been learning throughout the weeks. This week wasn't a smooth sailing, though. I had my fair share of troubles, problems, whatever you want to call them. As I shared last week, that I was working as well as challenging myself with other people's opinion. Well, I still had some challenges even this week where I was still pondering on other people's opinion, how they, looked on myself, how they looked on me, how they, what they thought about me, or whatever, to that regard. And it made me realize that even though a person can, find solution per se to a problem. In terms of beliefs, it actually does take a little bit time to actually change your beliefs, and you have to be consistent and keep going on them. But honestly, I was still struggling with the other people's opinion part, and I have shared a lot about that in my last video. I have shared with you guys that self-validation is the cure to other people's opinion, but obviously it's easier said than done, right? Something really powerful, I would say, or great, has happened to me in terms of realization this week. So for weeks, I wouldn't even say weeks, even before I started this journey in terms of documenting it and sharing with you guys, I have been asking in my prayers for ease and pure joy in my life. For, to be specific, for pure joy and pure ease in my life. And here goes the cliche, when people say, you must have heard it like what, millions of times, that whatever you're seeking, it's always within you. I had not realized that that is actually true, but this week I realized that that is actually something. At least I understood for myself that what it exactly means. So I still have my fair share of problems, challenges, in terms of, I just mentioned the validation or self-validation versus, other people's opinion, obviously, lack mindset, FOMO, jealousy, competition, competing beliefs, you name it, I have it. I'm a human being as well, right? And um, I have been obviously praying that I need complete or pure joy and ease in my life. What I realized was that by saying those things in my prayers, I actually have come to the conclusion, or in at least in my belief system, that I already have that. And the reason I say that is because I feel it that way. I feel that way, honestly, that there is ease in my life. I don't feel as much, rush, as much stress, as much, in terms of competition with others, or for that matter, competing beliefs as well. There is a sense of just peace and calm in my life, and I want to be clear on the fact that it's not because there are no problems anymore. There are, I would say, if not more, the same amount of problems, as well as, issues, conflicts, distractions, all the vices of the world, we say, are still there. But I don't look at them as problems and issues anymore. I just look at them as just events or things. And the reason I do that, obviously, by doing these prayers, I was opening myself to pure ease in my life. And what happened was that I don't have to give the meaning of them being problems. The reason you do that, or the moment you do that, those things are just things. They're not problems anymore. Um, what it made me realize is that there will never be a point in my life where I don't have problems. Problems will always be there. I just became a better person, for the lack of, I would say, better word, or I just evolved myself to a level where I feel like the problems are not problems anymore. They're just things, and I don't need to bother myself over those things. I can just be myself, still at peace and ease, and just deal with them with the best of my ability, and not let them basically take away the peace in my life. And that was just something powerful. And again, As I said, it's cliche. I've heard it many times, millions of times, that everything you're seeking is within you. And this week I realized that is actually true. But it made me more excited because if that is the case, as you guys know, my goal is $211 million, right? Um, it made me realize that obviously I'm after abundance and wealth, and I feel like that number is representation of abundance for me, as well as the people I care about. So the most, the more, I guess, exciting part about this realization was that maybe the realization next I'm gonna have is that the $211 million or the abundance I'm after is already within me. I'm quite sure of that. It's just that I need to grow myself to that level where the abundance is just I am abundance, if that makes sense. Everything is because I feel like abundance is all around us. It's just that our perspective is not matching that level just yet. So I'm quite excited about the realization as well as the experiences I'm going to have, internal as well as external, since I'm going towards that goal. So I thought I would share this journey. So this week taught me two powerful lessons. First is the words we choose to speak internally as well as externally to ourselves as well as others, yeah, hold immense power. So we should use that power in a way that uplift ourselves as well as others. Second is we already have what we're seeking, especially the true ease. And all we need to do is change our perspective of how we look at things. As the saying goes, if you change the way you look at things, the thing you're looking at changes. And it seems like it's quite true. I did not believe in that in the past, but I'm slowly starting to believe that that is actually true. I really hope these stories are inspiring you and making you a little bit more confident to go after your own goals. Let me know in the comments what kind of language you're choosing for yourself and others, since you know now that the words definitely hold some sort of power over how you actually do in your life.